So just before this video begins, I do want to give a shout out to Yub. He actually took both of the drum covers that I did before and he put a guitar rhythm over the top that he played on his channel. I thought this was really interesting, you know, he basically put guitar riffs behind the drum cover, so we're close to a full band with this good stuff. You can find a link to his video at the top of the description, it's definitely worth a watch. But yeah, let's get into what this title's all about. So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here and this is basically me right now. Now, I rarely do these sort of update vlog stuff, and I figured I should probably do it because it allows me to kind of voice my opinions about how I'm feeling in regards to YouTube, in regards to my channel, and just things in general I can talk about. That's kind of the beauty of them. It's kind of like a creative outlet where I can talk about basically anything, and fingers crossed you guys are actually interested to listen. Nope. Burnt Out. The title that I'm actually branding this video because, yeah, I think after 4 years, I've finally hit a point where things are getting a little bit too much as the channel keeps growing and stuff like that, and it's pretty hard for one person to handle on their own. I'm gonna be real though, I'm still patting myself on the back because it's taken me almost 4 years of consistent work to get to a point where finally things are a little bit overwhelming for myself. You know, this is a video I've actually been putting off for a couple of weeks right now because I wasn't really sure how to voice it, and then when I basically tried to do it, it just wouldn't feel right. Like, I didn't want to go making content which just felt negative. And to be honest, I'm not gonna treat it that way. There's a lot of information in this video about good stuff that's gonna be happening soon as well, and I want to let you guys know about that too. But one thing which is very important to remember is that there is many good things that can happen in life, but there's also many bad things, and it's not really the best idea to just pretend that only the good stuff is going on at the same time and just push off the bad things, because whilst it's behind you, it's growing. You know, another reason as well why I also wanted to make this video is because I kind of have an outlet where I can speak to people, and I want to let people know that these sort of problems aren't something that you should just kind of like shy away from, and you shouldn't not talk about them. Everyone has problems. It doesn't matter what you really have in your life. That shouldn't be a diminishing factor in terms of like, oh, why the freak is he feeling that way or something. Sometimes it's just good to be real with yourself, and that's something I've not done for the longest time, but I feel like by putting this into a video format, it's probably going to be my outlet at least of doing this. So I've been working on this channel now for nearly 4 years consistently, and I'm pretty sure you guys know that I've been able to keep up with daily uploads almost every single day. I take about 3 to 4 days off every single month where I'm actually not taking time off, but I'm still preparing even more content for the channel. It's just some things may take longer to do, and that kind of transitions over to my next point. You guys can quite clearly see that in my content. I like to prioritize the editing, and I absolutely love editing my stuff. It's almost like the way I see it, I've got my personality whilst I'm playing the game, and then on top of that, I can add this more intricate layer where it's like me watching myself and the humor I'm experiencing there. Because of that, I can almost deliver this high-end experience of who I am even whilst I'm playing the game. But however, I've learned something from doing that. Whilst I love editing so much, the one thing I've began to unfortunately despise is the amount of time that it's began to take up in my life. And let me just try and preface this here a little bit. This is something you don't really think about when you're getting into YouTube and you're just playing games and having some fun. It's all just a great time, and it still is for me. But one thing I've begun to realize I've had to almost miss out on is a lot of opportunities in real life just because of how long content is beginning to take me to do. Or rather, let me rephrase that. I've kind of been refining my content for quite a long time, but with anything you get diminishing returns, and I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can't really cut any more corners with how long editing takes. My average workday is around about 7 to 11 hours, and I have to do that every single time I upload a video, which is generally 6 to 7 times a week, so you guys can do the math right there, you know, anywhere between I think like 49 to 77 hours a week. I really wish I was exaggerating. Let me just show you guys something. So here we are, guys, in basically my preferred software. This is Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018 because all the other versions are just a buggy mess. I just want to show you guys, this is the level of detail that I'm going to with my videos, and this is just one singular episode. If we expand this out, you can kind of see the scale of sound effects and also like video layers we're doing here. Yeah, that's for like 30 seconds of a video. Nice forehead though, man. I like it. This, however, is the bare minimum of what I'm almost prepared to do on a personal level for my content, and you can see kind of the scope of how carried away whilst I can get working. Like, we have all these individual sound effects, like all these cuts. I'm just gonna come in quickly as well. If this video is literally all over the place, it's the best I can get after trying to record this thing as many times as I can. I don't know how to voice my thoughts sometimes, guys. It's like in my head it makes sense, but when I try and put it into words, it's very difficult to get like a cognitive flow, and I think that goes to show how overwhelmed I am with this. Now, I want to make sure you guys know I'm not making this video for you to feel sorry for me. Like, this is still the dream situation for my life, and this is everything I wanted. To be able to be a YouTuber, make creative stuff, and just make people laugh, as well as making myself laugh along the way. It's just amazing, and something I never saw happening. But something I've learned is that it's kind of hard to have fun for 70 hours a week constantly. I'm sure many of you have some amazing hobbies, and you're probably incredibly talented at them and really have a deep love for them. For me, I've almost made editing into this bigger thing of which it shouldn't be. When I open a project file and I see that that I've recorded for 1 hour straight. That basically translates in my head to, you're gonna have to go through all of this video, and then you're gonna have to go through again to do the edits, and then you're gonna have to go through again to do the sound effects. And by that point, you can become almost blinded to what was once your hobby, and it can become difficult. I think what I'm trying to justify, because I really do have a hard time doing this, guys. I think what I'm trying to get at, and I'm just gonna say this out loud, is that I need to really figure something out before I burn out really, really badly from this. Like something I've been learning recently, because I've never had this burnout phase, and after working birthdays, Christmases, special occasions with family, and having to work early in the morning or wake up at 5 a.m. to just make sure I've got content coming for you guys, something needs to give. I don't know how I just cut that clip right there, because you guys probably didn't see it. I went into a ramble state for almost a whole minute right there, talking about just everything that's going on. I'm just gonna shift this, okay? Now, one thing I've actually been looking to a lot is I've been trying to find an editor, because cutting the clips and doing all of this work, I've now learned that it really is too much for one person to handle. Let's talk about movies, let's talk about TV. It's a creative process that involves hundreds of thousands of people, and they come out once every 2-3 years because of the grandness and scale. One person can't do all of that, and I'm doing this like 6 to 7 times a week. I'm not comparing the stuff I do anything to like TV or what you see at film studios, man, like no way. I think what I'm trying to say though is that it's a lot of pressure for one person to handle, and unfortunately what I've turned this into now is a means of I have to sleep at a certain time, and the moment I wake up, my butt has to plank itself straight in this chair, and I have to make sure that I get everything edited up. I'm telling myself I'm not going to allow myself to re-record this again. I've tried way too many times, and it's difficult to put into words. This is literally the best I can do it, and this has to be the way that I want to do it, dude. I'm not going to mess with this no more. But here's one thing I have been doing in a positive. I have been on search for an editor. A lot of people said that, you know, my style really is what makes them enjoy the channel, and like, this is the thing about this whole editing. I'm getting someone to do the lesser impacting stuff, more of like chopping down the footage, so then I can add the effects and stuff over the top so it is the same feel. You guys probably don't know it, but this has been happening for over a month now, and you've been seeing this in effect, you know? Like, people are already saying like, oh, don't do it. It's already been happening, you guys, you know? I've still, however, been finding this kind of difficult mentally, and I think it's just what happens when you do something for years straight and don't allow yourself any personal space. See, this is the thing that I don't understand as well. Like, I am basically my worst boss, okay? I'm the dude that stands behind me and tells me that you can't move until you complete this, and you're doing overtime. Yet I'm never this way to anyone else. For example, like the person who's editing my stuff, which is my brother, I'm telling him like, you take it chill, you do it when you can, and don't bother rushing things. Do not ever feel like you're under a time constraint, because that's just horrible, dude. So why am I not this way to myself? You know, it's kind of ironic how this thing comes around, but again, I think it's all part of the learning process and just me piecing things together. Here's another thing that's been happening in the background. I've actually managed to get myself a house, and I haven't moved in. I've got to deal with all the paperwork, but guys, let me just tell you, man, buying a house, you don't just say yes to someone, pay the money, and they give you a key, okay? There's a lot that's been going into it, and it's been taking up a lot of time. Once that's done, I'll probably do some vlogs, show you guys the stuff, and we'll have some fun whilst I guess I'm moving in, because obviously that's going to be another thing which is going to take up time away from content, and I kind of want to then in turn turn that into content. Some other stuff as well I want to do. I want to actually focus a little bit differently with how I actually go into some games, more so in the editing phase again, because if you guys are noticing a pattern, I love recording stuff. However, I'm starting to not enjoy editing, not for the editing, but again for the amount of time it takes. There are so many things that I truly have so much hype for and enjoy playing, but by, let's say, 4 to 5 parts in, the editing really starts to burn me out on recording the series, and it actually makes it difficult for me to mentally want to do it. Games that I'm hyped for, I just want to play, and then that's what I do, and I'll generally upload a video on that or something, but then the mental part of it comes in where you then realize, oh great, so you've had the fun, now you've got to spend about 8 to 10 hours editing through that, and you've got to get it done today because part 2 needs to come out tomorrow. People have told me to chill copious times, and I think now is about the most important time that I'm gonna have to finally listen. And if you've made it this far as well, guys, thank you for actually listening to me ramble. It is just gonna be a video that's gonna be here, there, and everywhere. I don't know mentally how to put this into words. It's like, you guys probably know this, when you have anxiety, you have like a bad thought in your head, it feels bad, and it can turn into a physical sensation within. But if someone asks you to explain it, you can't put it into words, at least the way you see it in your head, you know what I mean? So this video here, though, guys, was my outlet. I don't know how this came across, I hope not negative, but I finally had to just talk, even if it was rambling, even if it made no sense. This is how I kind of feel in my head all the time when, you know I have to edit stuff. I just wanted to give you guys some stuff just so you know what's going on and why there may be less uploads from time to time, okay? It's not because I don't want to do it. As I said before, doing all this work has unfortunately led to me missing so many opportunities because instead of going to some amazing thing that a company's invited me to, I've got to go ahead and make a video on a game that I don't even know is going to be any good. Honestly, I get why Corey has to take 3 to 4 months off at a time. It's so mentally draining, especially when you're an editor. The work truly begins once you hit end end on the recording, and then you have to go through and edit everything. I hope you guys could make some sense from this video. It was just me rambling literally for the best part of 28 minutes on my recording, so I'm probably going to be cutting out a lot of that and just trying to keep this video somewhat contextual. Despite the mental struggles, I'm going to do my best to adapt my mindset and listen to myself for once, to try and keep doing videos as often as I want, because I do enjoy the process. I've got to just figure out a way to make the time balance a bit more with the editing that I'm doing. Thank you for listening this far in if you've made it here, though. I do appreciate the fact that you wanted to listen to me just ramble about something off my chest. Thank you also for those of you who understand that I really am burnt out and understand that this is a real thing. It basically just means that there may be one less video a week, or, I may miss 2-3 days in a row. I'm trying really hard to keep on top of this, but it is very, very difficult. Whilst I've made thousands upon thousands of videos, one thing I'm now starting to realize is that I only get one body and one mind, and I've really got to remember that some more. I am going to sign off here, though, before I go down another rabbit hole of rambling, but thank you for listening to this video, guys, and I'll, of course, see you on the next one.